Okay, we got a short screencast here for you about our standard or standards for the Unit on Civil Rights. And you can see the title here, The Struggle to Overcome the Tyranny of the Majority, which is a theme throughout the Civil Rights Unit. As we go here to the next slide, you'll actually see the standards that we're studying. And there's really one standard with two parts. What we're first looking at is we're going to analyze how the U.S. Supreme Court has allowed the restriction and enabled the expansion of rights for groups. When we're talking about restrictions, we're talking about limiting someone's freedom through discrimination, which we'll learn more about later in the unit. And when we're talking about expanding rights, we're talking about increasing someone's freedom or increasing a group's freedom to operate as they choose in the United States in this case. The second part of the standard is examining different goals and methods of groups who have advocated for access to greater rights. Some examples: women, religious groups, civil rights groups, indigenous peoples, and the LGBTQ community. When we're talking about methods, we're looking at these different ways to overcome discrimination. It could be challenging the law, it could be boycotting businesses, it could be marching, or not cooperating with existing laws, which can be called civil disobedience, or flat out just being a pioneer, being the first to do something. When we're discussing advocating, we're looking at supporting something publicly, being out front. And when we're discussing rights in the context of this unit, we're talking about civil rights, the rights of citizens to political and social freedom and equality. Here are the goals for the unit. In goal 1, you're going to understand how Jim Crow laws were passed. These are laws that severely limited the rights of minorities in the American South. You're also going to learn in goal 2 about what discrimination is, and you'll be able to identify situations where discrimination is occurring or has occurred. With goal 3, we're going to want you to be able to recognize the different methods to end discrimination that are used by individuals or civil rights groups and understand these different types of methods. Again, civil disobedience being one, boycotts, litigation, protest marches, or again, just being a pioneer. With the last goal, you will examine one particular effort to end discrimination. We're going to want you to research one particular effort and how effective that effort was to end discrimination, to increase rights for that group. And it could be an effort that occurred back during the civil rights era. It could be a much more modern example of a civil rights struggle today. Here is the rubric, and I'm not going to read through all parts of it, but you will see each criterion here on the left is based on the goals that we just went through. So if you understand those goals and you're able to research and create a project that shows understanding of those goals, you would be an advanced student for this particular unit. We have some examples here of student work in the past. Some students have chosen to research their particular effort to end discrimination and make videos to demonstrate their understanding. We have one here on Viola Luiso and one on Ruby Bridges, different videos made by students. Other students have chosen to make children's books and showcase their art and writing skills to explain a particular method to overcome discrimination and increase rights. Here we have a children's book on Daisy Bates. Other students have chosen to make classroom visual aids. Here we have a timeline, highly artistic and informative, about the life of a civil rights advocate, showing her different struggles and showing her methods to overcome discrimination and increase rights for her group. That's just an overview of what we'll be doing in this unit. Hopefully this makes sense. If you have any other questions, ask your teacher. Thank you.